But allow me to get a little humanistic about her, how she was preyed on by Stephan Stearns. And my thing is, I think she was getting benefits from him. He's resourceful and has money, and I hate to think like this, and it made me nauseous. I think she knowingly allowed him to have sex with her daughter for the benefits. She was on disability. She has no skills. She's vulnerable. He preyed on her, and he used her daughter literally for his own benefit.
He didn't have a job. He didn't have anything stable. He was not making money by the admissions of his father. His father said he couldn't even get him up to go to work when he worked for him.
But his parents had money and they were resourceful. So that was an insurance policy for her just in case. And listen, therapists say bad attention is still attention.
You're perhaps right. As she said here, he stole money from his father. He stole money and stole a watch from the father. He would buy, and she's going to go on to say here, if he wanted something expensive, he was looking for RC cars and so forth, he would get them. So somehow, without a job, without making any money, he was able to get all of this stuff.
Including that thick, very expensive sex doll that he had.
Yes, that his mother thought was a real human torso and called the police and went running out of the house calling Maddie's name.
I was really heartbroken and not that he had done all this shit to her. Like, I look back at shit now and just like, he was fucking lying. He was fucking faking. What else has he been lying to me about? I know he's like a master liar and manipulator because he's done it to his parents and he's told me and shown me the lies he's done to his parents. But I don't know why I never thought, not me.
The lies are about money, they're about where he's at, what he's doing.
He would never do that to me or my daughter. He would never be a master manipulator or a liar to us.
Was he?
Yeah, all that.
To his parents?
Yeah, he's stolen money from his parents. They used to have a few $1,000s hidden in like a closet for emergency fund kind of thing. And during COVID, he sold he wanted RC cars. See, if he wants something, he's gonna get it, no matter what.
Now, one thing that the detectives can't seem to understand during this interview, and they try to get Jenn Soto to explain, is her primary concern appearing to be for Stephan Stearns and not for Maddie. Mm-hmm. For instance, she suggested that Stephan Stearns get a lawyer.
I started saying to him, like, I think they're focusing in on you. Like, we need to call your dad, and I think we need to get you a lawyer. I feel like they're focusing on the wrong person, and he kept saying the same thing. He kept repeating what I was repeating. They're focusing on the wrong person. They're wasting time.
How do you feel when you said he needs a lawyer?
He didn't believe me. Like, when I told him, like, don't you see forensics is closing down the house? They know something, or there's something, like, they know something. Something's happening. They wouldn't be locking down the house this way if they didn't have suspicions of something.
It's amazing at certain points, he seems so laser focused and sharp with her attention. But at certain times when she's cornered, when they ask her tough things, she breaks down and goes to the crutch of her disabilities. And here she's catching on and she's admitting to these detectives, hey, I knew what was going on. I knew that there was something not right, but I didn't suspect it was him. I suspected it was somebody else.
The detectives just can't believe this, and they turn up the heat on Jenn Soto about this.
The police have showed you their hand. They said, Stephan, we want your phone. Stephan, we want to talk to you. You're going to lock down your residence. You can't go back inside. I don't care if it's the love of my life sitting next to me. I don't care if it's maternal grandma. If the police come and take my mom's phone, my son's disappearance, I'm not going to offer my mom a lawyer. That's nuts to me. That to me shows you prioritizing Stephan. Because at that point, you became more worried about him being falsely accused than
anything that happened to your daughter.
Does that make sense what I'm saying? Whether or not that's what you felt, does that make sense? People having lawyers is their constitutional right. That is a thing that everybody is afforded. But for somebody who's going through what you are going through, to offer him a lawyer leads me to believe that there may have been a conversation, there may have been knowledge, or there may have been some inclination that you had, whether it be his involvement or location or something, to where in your mind there's guilt.
I promise you. Like,
Because you offering him a lawyer is very weird.
I know. That was still me under the assumption that, I think at one point you guys interviewed me, and when you guys showed me the picture of her, I believed the sexual stuff, but I didn't want to believe that he had done anything evil to her. I'm like, no, what if he did this stuff right?
I believe.
I believe the sexual stuff. You all caught that?
Yeah. So that's not evil.
Holy shit,
But I don't believe he would do anything
Oh,
evil.
my Lanta.
Oh, my Lanta.
Oh my Lanta.
Sorry, Ed. I had to.
Yeah.
I can't stomach this.
I love it. Oh my
This
God.
is unbelievable. But this is why our community and everyone in the true crime community, you watch this and you're just like, how in God's name is she not shackled and brought in? How is she not locked up?
I'm going to put on my sergeant hat. You're still working up the investigation. I mean, we don't know, but I will tell you this. This is what I want to say. I can't believe I'm going to defend the law and politics of New York City, but definitely we're used to seeing people like her arrested almost instantaneously for neglect, endangering the welfare of a child.
Yes.
And for those of you who don't understand what I'm talking about, I'll make it simple. I show up to any type of suspected child abuse. Doesn't matter your rank. Even as an EMT, Maddie told the school counselor she didn't feel comfortable at home. She didn't want to be at home. That school counselor had a legal obligation to report that. In New York,
mandated reporters. They're mandated.
Yes, mandated reporter. In New York, we're mandated reporters. When a child describes or says anything that's uncomfortable, they just say the word and you report it. And in New York, they call it a SCAM report, suspected child abuse maltreatment form or medical form for those of us who worked on the ambulance. I did both. We document it. Now, on the backside, on the police side, we say it's CYA, right? But on the human side, we don't know what's going on behind closed doors. Sorry, my mouth. Regardless of culture, I don't care how religious you are. I don't care how atheistic you are. I don't care how Puerto Rican Jennifer Soto is. I don't care how white Stephan. This isn't about anything other than humanity.
Right.
The school should have reported just a concern. And then that notebook, that teacher or whoever her teachers were for 4 years, they're supposed to, inspect. We all know. I went to Catholic school, so we got hit for it. But they inspected the notebooks, right? Mm-hmm. No one saw that picture. Come on, we all know someone saw something. And like we say in New York, you see something, say something. We got to do that in our homes. We got to teach our kids, not just our kids. We got to teach the people who watch our kids, the grandparents. Something feels off, it's off. You'd rather go with the hunch than Maddie Soto being in the farm. 6 feet under.
If your gut is telling you something's wrong, then something's wrong. I can't tell you how many times when I was on patrol in the 70 precinct that, I went up on domestics or other calls for help, aided, whatever, and I see a child there and something didn't sit right with me. And then I start talking and I get more information. The next thing you know, I'm calling the sergeant and said, look, I want to pull this kid out of this house. All right. I want to call child services and get this kid out of this house. Something's not right here.
And I'm not saying because I'm a sergeant, I'm actually being really serious. You said it right there. You said you called a sergeant. That's another thing I appreciate about the NYPD. We all joke. We're like, oh, the sergeant's problem now, right? We all joke. And then I show up and it is my problem. I'm all about solutions as a group. When they interviewed, I wanted to bring this up and it's my last point. The woman who lived in room 3. I saw it on another, crime show. They interviewed her. It's very important for all of you who work where you work. Don't feel uncomfortable to ask for an appropriate translator. And don't feel uncomfortable to use Google Translate wherever you work. It doesn't have to be policing, because getting the story straight, and DutyRon's going to talk about it while he scrolls into it, is so important, because this woman was a vital witness. And I wanted you to touch base on this, Ed, as a detective for evidence. This woman was a verbal witness that she witnessed time frame and she pieced together a lot of stuff. And I think that the cops should have had a sergeant there, because then at that point, the sergeant's like, I want the detectives, I want homicide, I want all the cavalry to come and speak to this woman.
Yeah, 100%. I wanted the sergeant there as a checks and balance to what I was seeing, right? And then I wanted the sergeant's input and say, Sarge, take a stab at this and see if you're seeing the same thing I do, and do I have your permission to pull this child?
4,000 sergeants left in New York City, okay? And there's 20,000 cops. So the cops are really the front line out there, and then I'm out there with the cops. I was out there. You all have the experience. You respond to double the magnitude. I mean, I was a cop, so I worked near you in Brooklyn. So we're out there. You're the first eyes and ears. You see the no food in the refrigerator. You see the bedroom condition. So you help the sergeant understand what you see, and what you cannot do, we do for you in terms of getting resources that because of procedure, you're not allowed to do certain things. So together we work, but because of your expertise, you help solve these crimes.